So like I've mentioned before, this session is going to be, at least starting out, going to be mostly a recap of what has happened last time, as well as what has happened between arcs. Um, so I'm just going to kind of go over a recap of what happened last time, and I'll try to not get into the nitty-gritty as much as possible. So the group met in Troll Skull Tavern, brought together by a common conflict of a troll and several bat-like creatures flying out of the well, sitting in the middle of the Yawning Portal. Did I say Troll Skull Manor? I meant the Yawning Portal. Shortly after, they were lambasted, perhaps, as some might view it, but they were hired on by Volo, or Volo Fanf but most people just know him as Volo, to find a friend of his, Rainier Neverember. Actually, no, that's right. The original goal was to find Floon. You made your way to the docks, where you were eventually led to a warehouse, where you found Rainier Neverember, who had gotten mixed up. The two had gotten mixed up, and Floon had ended up getting kidnapped. Tracked him down into the sewers and found a bit of an underground kind of establishment. Among other things, you made a new friend in a goblin. You spared Zam, beloved by all, of course. You found Floon and brought them all back together. Volo, in lieu of paying you the gold he had promised, gave you something that he insisted was much more valuable. Real estate. Up in the North Ward, one of the nicer areas of the city. A fairly beaten up, but promising tavern and home for the coming future. The group took up a number of jobs to get this tavern reestablished and up in living and working condition. Though they quickly found that the tavern was evidently haunted by the spirit of a previous owner, Liff. Turns out, though, that he was quite amenable to you staying there as long as you were willing to open up the tavern. So a couple of jobs later, one of which, going into the jobs a bit more, you met with a number of potentially influential people in the city that you could work with. The Harpers, namely, is one of them. You have done, I think, a few jobs for them. Othronus made contact with the Zentarim. You even took up a job to investigate a dragon in the nearby, off the waters of the harbor of Waterdeep, which ended up being friendly, not being too much harm to anybody. Another job, though, took you out to the east side of Waterdeep, to the farmlands. That ended fairly poorly, as while you were able to take down the scarecrows that had been menacing the local population, there had been a plot to escape a young hag that had just transformed, and the brother she had been living with since she was essentially born was killed in the process, and she is nowhere to be seen at this point. Back inside the city, Rainier asked if you would be interested in being security for a party that he was throwing. He was a little concerned as he had been kidnapped recently, so he hired you all on. Now, going back a bit, the reason that he had been kidnapped, he had disclosed, is that he is, in fact, connected to the conspiracy that has been going on in the city. His father, Dagalt Neverember, when he was the Open Lord of Waterdeep, embezzled a large sum of money, 500,000 gold pieces, dragons as they are known in the city. He has not been in contact with his father, at least that's what he insists. And there is little that he can do to help find this lost son, but he's looked for your help. So in the days before, namely, a few of you decide to rest up and attend a local event that had been recommended to you at the Court of the White Bull. There was much merriment to be had, and even a bit of flying around in the anomaly that exists there. But much of the fun came to an end when when Cordelia had an encounter with a figure from her past, Silas Duncan. There was a tense moment there, but in the end, they were able to walk away without going into a full-blown conflict. Though Cordelia, I'm sure, is wary of his presence in the city.
Darn tootin'.
Certainly up to no good. Othronus and Celia, on the other hand, made their way off to explore the rest of the city. And Celia shared, I think, a bit about her past. Particularly her past experiences with Illustrahi. A few days pass, and the party with Rainier was going pretty swimmingly. Cordelia had even managed to reunite with her father, who had traveled to the city, to find people that would help to establish a mine to dig up the gold that was found on their property. It turns out that he had been in talks with the Castellanters. Philanthropic, that's the word. Family, and one of the highest noble families in Waterdeep. The party, though, came to a bit of a halt when many of the patrons simply fell to a charm that had been placed in the food. Sleeping potion. Turns out that there had been Zentarim members in disguise looking to capture Rainier once again to see if there was anything that he knew, if he could guide them towards the lost gold of the city. The party managed to fend them off, but not before both Celia and Othronus recognized a familiar figure to their past. I don't recall how much Othranus shared with Celia, but they both recognized this figure from a job that they had worked in the city of Baldur's Gate to the south of Waterdeep. Someone Othranus had worked with and Celia had worked against. There was tenseness between them, and later that night Othranus would disappear into the night, unknowing of what the rest of the party unknowing of what has happened to him exactly.
I left letters.
He had left letters, this is true. Before the rest of the group had gone back, as Nyla and Cordelia had returned to were on their way in a carriage returning home for the night, a mysterious figure from a rooftop several blocks away shot and drastically wounded Cordelia. Uncertain of why this had happened, the two were able to make their way back to their home and recover for the night. Cordelia reuniting with a certain shopkeep that she had grown fond of in the past few days, who would nurse her back to health. I believe the next morning, Cordelia awoke to find Fala speaking with a warforged that she did not recognize, who seemingly was the one that had attacked her the night prior. Turns out there was a bit of a misunderstanding of he did not know that Cordelia was someone who's a friend of Fala's. Fala had helped him in the past, and they had remained friends for a while. But Five had that was the name of this warforged, swore that he would not accept any more jobs to attack Cordelia, though he knew not where this contract had came from, only that it had been placed with the Zentarum Guild. The group reunited shortly later to finish the reconstruction of Trollskull Manor. And there are some certain things that we will need to discuss tonight about how that went and what particularly had happened in this process. But about a month and a half goes by with relative peace. Going back a bit, sorry. Lots of stuff happened. As Celia had a bit of an internal debate with herself of what to do after the revelation with Othranus and his disappearance, she was able to reach out to another figure, a figure from her past, Chanza, who shortly later would meet her in the city and convince her to stay with this group for the time being at least, and make her aware of a small drow settlement out to the east of the city. There is a certain... where was I going with that? Shanza decided, not of her own, but decided that she would stay in the city, and the party offered for her to stay in the manor with them. She has accepted, and she is, for the time being, stayed with the party, helping out around the tavern and living with them for the time being. I'm sorry, that was super great. There was some crack moments there. But that is about the recap. I'm sure there will be other things that we'll go over once again, but that should, I think, in large part be most of the points. Notably, another thing worth mentioning is a friendship that had grown with a local noble in the North Ward, Slive Rosenar, or nicknamed Rose by the party, who has been seen a number of times. There is Nyla, who I think shortly after, we will establish now that shortly after the events of the last arc, decided that she wanted to leave and travel the city. She's still staying within the city, at least for the time being. But she is trying to help out with other common people. You're not certain entirely of what has happened with her since then, but she is there. There's also the rumors that have gone around of a Black Viper, or the return of the Black Viper. A figure from over a century ago that was a cat burglar in Waterdeep and has recently been sighted again, either her or a newcomer taking up the mantle. Sorry, that was weird. We kind of are picking back up, and one of the primary questions that we have to return into is what has happened with the Trollskull Manor with these refurbishments. I will also say that there are some things I'm going to hand wave with some of the expenses, and we've kind of already gone over what has happened with, I guess, some of the upper areas. Though if there are some things that you want to establish within reason, we can do so. But there is also, the main tavern area that there is the discussion of whether you wish to retheme it. If you want to rename the tavern, that is an option. If there's any specific things you want to have set up in the tavern, the options are open.
All right. Well, I say we make it the best darn saloon anyone's ever dang seen.
So, Cordelia wants to make it a saloon.
Abso-friggin-lutely. Now, if we get real good, we can get some of them can dancers in here. Bring in them fellas. Get them with the drinks and the girls. And this place will be hopping in no time.
Them fellas. Yeah. I will say...
No, never mind. You know what? I really don't care as long as there's a dance floor.
Absolutely.
I forget what Lift sounded like exactly, so please forgive me if any of the characters sound a bit different.
You can recast voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
Which, also to recap, Liff, he originally only started off as this kind of figure that, not even a figure, more of a force in the tavern that could only physically interact. He could move objects, he can kind of write. In fact, most of the writing, or most of the communication that you had was written through the dust on various counters and walls and whatnot. That was in the tavern. I believe shortly, around the time that you committed to refurbishing the tavern is when Liff was able to start speaking again. But he does have sort of a kind of sultry, I don't know if that would be the right word. It's a pretty pleasing voice generally. Are you really wishing to make it a themed tavern?
I don't see why not. Here, picture it. We could rename it to be the Spotted Cow Saloon. How's that sound? Sounds real homey, don't it?
Liff gives an awkward pause.
I think we should keep it Troll Skull Manor. It's kind of already a famous name and it carries some weight with it.
Oh, well, true.
That
But you never
doesn't mean
know how some new pizzazz could really bring in people, get the interest up. Oh, have you heard of the Spotted Cow? No, I ain't ever heard of the Spotted Cow before. Oh, well, you gotta go see it because it's a real nifty place. Oh, really? Well, I guess I might as well go to the Spotted Cow now. See how that works? It's so easy.
Or, hey, want to go down to Troll Skull Manor? Yeah, sure. Well, let's go, because it's already an established establishment.
My dear best friend, Celia. Why you always gotta be right, honey?
It's a curse.
It
Must truly be. I guess I don't know what it's like.
It's not that you can't re-theme with this refurbishment, but perhaps it should be on brand.
I suppose so.
Though I think there's plenty of room. I mean, saloon doors. We could get some saloon doors.
That sounds wonderful. That way, people can come in and dramatically, and we won't lubricate the hinges either. They'll creak, and they'll be atmospheric when they walk in. That way, they feel real cool. That means they'll want to come here because they feel good.
Are you going to suggest next that we put some creaky floorboards in intentionally for the
Cordelia will just
atmosphere?
rock back and forth on a floorboard that's already creaky. No, perfect. They are.
This is, I will say, this is probably something that is happening shortly before. You've got the money. Most of the stuff has already happened. This is taking place as you're doing the final decisions of how things are going to change.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that was going to get refurbished is the floorboards.
Right.
Yeah,
so you can also
that's a bit of a safety hazard. So yeah.
You can also put in floorboards that can creak as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, probably the ones that are there.
Keep the ones that are there. Add new ones. To for safety.
Yeah.
We don't need OSHA to get involved.
Instead of the ship of Theseus, it's just gonna be known as Troll Skull Manor, and if you take all the creaky and old floorboards and make it into a whole new tavern, is that the real Troll Skull Manor, or is this the real Troll Skull Manor?
True. I suppose as long as the bones are the same, it's still the same place.
Yeah. I know this isn't a ton of time. We can also go over general ideas, both in and out of character, and we can kind of do some more. We don't have to narrow down all the details, or if you guys want to do some of that later on or between sessions, that is fine.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm fine to kind of figure it out as we go. That way we can continue with getting back into the story.
Yeah. I'll ask just to kind of give a prompt. I think one of the things that had been brought up before, and I don't want to hold you guys narrowly to this, but I think one of the things that you guys brought up shortly before we ended last time is the idea of doing like leaning into the haunted aesthetic.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Is that something that you guys are still interested in?
Liv could make appearances and help us out with that, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
Be fun. And not that you have to like lean into it super heavily, it's just like have some slightly creepy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Gothic, Victorian era, that sort of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, we can get into the details later as we go.
Yeah.
So I think we're gonna stick with that for the moment.
Mm-hmm. That's fine.
I think we're gonna kind of skip ahead just a bit to this grand opening of this tavern.
All right.
What do you guys... Are you guys doing anything like big for an event? Is this like low key? How are you guys approaching this? I'll ask.
It'd probably be something that's fairly well advertised, at least with like flyers being like soon to open or open today or whatever, like little flyers going around, and they're pretty simple. See who comes in.
See who comes in.
I mean, you got your very own megaphone right here. I mean, Cordelia could just stand on a barrel out in the Troll Skull Alley and proclaim its grand reopening.
She may be small, but damn can she project her voice.
Mm-hmm. So I'll have her do that.
Cordelia, I would like you to roll a persuasion check at advantage, I'll say.
Say no more, fam. I'm glad that is on advantage. Holy shite! Okay, I'm gonna put Kimmy's die to the side. I thought Brown go. I rolled a 1 and then a 3, so let me see what her modifiers are. Persuasion! Alright.
A 1 and a 3?
That's literally a 3 in persuasion. Guys, I am so sorry.
Damn. So that is a 3 total?
Yes, that is a 3 total.
Damn. Okay. So I think it's not quite what you guys were expecting for the grand opening. I think the vibe that you're getting from this is like a lot of wary people. Like you're probably about like 70% capacity for opening day, which for opening day on an average day isn't too bad, but for like opening day, that's a little like
lackluster.
Yeah. There's kind of a quiet murmur outside as do you have like any ceremony or tradition that you're trying to stick to, or are you just kind of like in the morning you let people in, let them go, look wild?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not morning, but yeah.
All right. So just run around back and forth.
Was that
what kind of people
want to answer the question?
Sorry.
What was the question again? Are you doing like any sort of like ribbon cutting ceremony? Are you doing any sort of promotion for this opening day? Are you just kind of letting people in? Are you doing a nightclub thing? Do you have a bouncer outside?
Go for it, Crystal. You're about to say something.
Well, not in regards to that question. I was gonna ask if, I don't know about any traditions, but Celia would let most of this be run by Cordelia, which...
Okay.
She'd probably just spend the first day enjoying herself drinking and dancing, regardless of how many people are in there. So I don't know about any traditions, but that's what she's doing.
She is being a customer in the tavern that she partially owns.
Yep. She's livening the mood. That's her role.
And she's doing such a great job at it. So what kind of people have we attracted? Yeah. I'm curious. Have we attracted a lot of well-to-do looking people, or have we attracted like pretty seedy looking people, or just middling?
There's a decent mix. I think it is kind of leaning more towards like upper middle class, partially because of just like the location of this tavern. Mm-hmm. You're getting a few people from the rest of the city, but it seems like this has ended up being a fairly local sort of thing. Fala definitely comes. You recognize most of the neighbors in this kind of area have arrived, and I will actually once we're wrapped up, or if we go and break at some point, I will send in some NPCs into the channel. A few of the neighbors that you had not met that have showed up.
Okay.
And also, you see a handful of like the suppliers, because you have talked with like the suppliers. Notably, there's the supplier for meat and foodstuffs. He's a bit of a gruff, sort of large stature sort of man. Like his face is almost stuck in like a scowl, almost. But he's there and he's drinking. There's also like the supplier for your ale, wine and ale. He's perhaps depending on your perspective, some people might have differing opinions, but he's maybe a little stuck up. But he is talking highly of the wine, and you don't know whether that's complimenting your selections or if he's just trying to talk up his supply.
One of them types.
Let me actually see if I can copy that and just send it in there directly. Now my computer's moving slowly. Okay. I'll take care of that later. But yeah, you kind of notice them. You notice, I think, a decent amount of people that are just kind of murmuring to themselves. You actually also recognize, I think, another thing that we had spoken of is like you were gonna see if you guys can get 3 strings in for entertainment, like as much as you can.
Oh, 3 strings. Forgot about him.
Yes.
He's definitely rocking opening night.
Yes.
He's got enough drip to have 4 strings.
No, he's break out the 4-string loot. That's emergencies only.
Mm.
No, he's playing. He's having a good time. I think you actually notice Bonnie and Dernan have actually made their way. Dernan is a little, perhaps a little exteriorly, he is maybe a bit judgmental, but he's here, and he seems to be socializing at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Miss Bonnie, I forgot about her. She was great.
Yeah. Yeah, by all means, feel free to look through the NPCs channel. There may be some in there that jog your memory. Bonnie, you guys like them. Actually, I think you do realize later in the evening, Volo does arrive, probably making a brief appearance for probably a number of reasons. But he does congratulate you all on this tavern, getting it up and running. If I can get both of you to make kind of some, I'll say either perception or investigation checks, your choice. A couple of other figures that you recognize. Savra Bellabranta, I don't know if you guys remember her. She was somebody who met Nyla last arc, and I think a couple of the rest of you. She makes her way here. Rose is definitely here. She's here, I think, like most of the day, hanging out with you guys. Celia, I think, if you accept, she dances with you for a while.
She dances with everyone.
Well, that's fair.
Roll the
Even
21 on
Zam?
investigation.
Even Zam?
If Zam comes up and offers and she sees him, then yes.
Wow. Shanza is also, she seems to be like sitting, I think, at the bar for a decent portion of the day, but she is hanging around with you all. Cordelia, did you make that roll?
Yeah, at best it's a 4, at worst it's a 2. So
fun. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's pick performance out of 4.
That's a performance?
Oh wait, what did you say? Perception or persuasion or
perception or investigation?
Perception or investigation. Haha. We could make it a 1 with investigation because I have a negative modifier, so therefore I have luck. Right. That means I can re-roll.
Actually, that's if you roll a 1 on the d20.
Oh, well, shoot.
Sorry.
Thought I was being smart.
Sorry. You're really close. That is always frustrating when you get a 2 as a halfling, because that basically becomes the new nat 1.
Yeah, that's just a 2 then for me.
Cordelia, honestly, it's perhaps even less that you're like not like observant. I think it's more you are kept busy all day, especially since Celia has left the tavern, how it's been being run. She's left that in large part to you, but she's also left all of her burden, her side of the responsibility, to you as well. So this is actually in large part kind of your operation. Lif has assisted as best he can. Zam is just trying to help. He's actually spending most of the day just kind of trying to basically be a server, a helper bartender, just kind of Zam is trying to help as much as he can.
Zam is the man.
Lif, of course, is also staying busy, though. Even though you can't really see him, you can tell that he's kind of in his element here. So yeah, you very much see, like, there are people that kind of walk up to the bar and, like, they order, like, this weird drink, and, like, he will, like, make a show of it, especially since he is invisible. Or I think you're kind of wondering at the moment, is he like can you see an outline of something there? And you're not entirely certain. I think actually Zam, one of the things that he does in large part is make the food, because I do think that we established it. You also, this is a bit of a tavern. I mean, it's not just a bar; it's a tavern. And yeah, people filter through. Celia, with that 21, I think you kind of catch some people's eye that you're wondering if they're one person in particular, you're wondering if they may be just other people in disguise in some way, shape, or form. You see a few, I think at one moment you even see a silhouette of somebody leaving the tavern that looks very familiar. Kind of large, stocky,
oh no,
different suit than you're familiar with, but you're just not certain.
Do I follow them? Do I give in to my impulses?
Maybe you don't. Maybe you take this time and you grow and become a different person.
See, you say that as I roll a 2. I'm following them right out the door.
Yeah, you follow them out the door. You kind of open up the door. You kind of examine the street. I think this is later in the evening when you see this figure leave. Go ahead and roll a perception check. At disadvantage, I'll say. Since there is a decent amount of people kind of roaming around at the moment, and you're not really certain which way this person went, and you didn't really get a good look.
That was really good, and then it wasn't. That's a 5.
I'm sorry. There's a couple of people that's like, is that? No, that's not him. I think you may stand there kind of lingering for a moment, looking around, searching. What do you do?
I mean, if I can't find him with that, which I'm assuming I can't with the 5, I'm just gonna go back inside.
Yeah. How does Celia feel in that moment?
Confused. More at herself, and she's wondering why she's looking so hard.
You return inside. I think things shortly after that moment begin to clear up for the night. You actually made, I think, it wasn't necessarily a great start for an opening day, but I think looking back, you two realized that things kind of picked up later in the day. Like maybe a bit of word of mouth kind of got out that hey, this place is open, and yeah, no, it's going pretty well. I think there was a lot of wariness that may have been paid off. You're probably sure that there's still going to be more of that to come, but such is life. I think at this point, Zam is setting out a couple of plates specifically for the three of you, including Shanza. And what did you ask him to make for you? Or when he asked, what did you tell him? Because he asked, like, I'm making food because it's been a long day.
Baked beans.
Baked beans. Do you want like in a bowl, like a big like soup, but just beans?
A whole casserole dish of baked beans.
A lot of beans. Coming right up.
Yes. Beans, the wonderful fruit. The more you eat, the more you toot.
Nice. Celia, you want something? You good? You look a little out of it.
I'm not hungry.
Well, Miss Celia, you got to keep your girlish figure.
And I definitely won't do that by eating beans.
Oh, come on now. Beans are protein, right?
I don't know what protein is.
It's like stuff that's good for you.
I think I am just going to call it a night.
All right. All right. Can I make something for you in the morning, though?
She's gonna ignore him and walk away.
Oh, poor boy.
It's all right, Sam. We'll appreciate your cooking. I'm gonna go talk to her.
Chunza actually kind of puts a arm on you as you're kind of getting up from the counter to kind of go after Celia.
Okay.
And she just kind of like says, I appreciate that, but maybe give her a few minutes.
Oh, but all right.
I do what you wish, but that is my suggestion.
Time for Celia to sneak out and be a lone wolf.
And now she's gonna leave the part. No, I think I joked about that last time anyway.
Stumble. No, see, this is how she gets kidnapped by the circus.
Everybody gets kidnapped eventually, or assassinated, or something or the other.
All right, we need the bingo card. How many things have happened to you, Cordelia?
Cordelia or Celia?
Yeah, let's go with both.
That's fair.
Okay. I have not had Cordelia drink tea yet. Let's see. She's failed. I've failed several rolls in her name, so you can check that off.
Unfortunate, but it's we're still early in.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. What else did we have on that bingo card? We had a thing going for a while. I totally forgot about that.
Oh yeah, no, it's up there in the chat log.
You'll have to find that at some point. Dig that out. So, I think a few minutes pass. Chanza orders a thin cut of steak for her dinner. Zam makes himself a mix of beans, hash browns, and grits, like literally just kind of sloshed together, and mashed potatoes.
Oh.
It tastes good. It feels good. It burns good.
Fantastic.
In my chest.
Oh, you might want to get that checked out.
Nah.
All right.
He's just getting heartburn. It's fine.
Oh, right.
The concern may be warranted, though.
Yeah. Well, at least he hasn't been shot.
Yeah. Are you recovering? Is that you're not dead? You're not dying, right?
I ain't dead. I am more inflamed, not from the wound. I'm fine. The fever's passed. It's not infection, but I am inflamed in my soul, in my heart, to keep on going and to find out who done this And to find that darn Silas Duncan, who may have my little brother and my mama, I gotta do something about it. What am I doing just sitting here eating these beans? I don't deserve to enjoy these beans. And she just takes a big old scoop of them, just stress eating, and starts crying. I don't deserve these beans. While my mama and brother are out there.
Sansa, who I think is sitting next to you, just kind of slowly starts patting your back and like maybe stroking your back. I don't know. She's trying to comfort you here as you're sobbing over your beans. Celia, we're gonna tap back to you briefly. So you said that we were gonna turn in for the night.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was she lying and is she sneaking out the back?
Who knows?
About to murder somebody or the spy, or is she secretly the thief we've heard about?
Unless something gives her a reason to sneak out.
How many reasons do you need? How few? How many?
Not a lot, in all honesty.
There is a weird silhouette across the street in the building.
She's out.
She didn't even have to she saw it in the corner of her eye and she didn't even have to turn to look at it directly. It's just immediately turn, walk the other way. She's leaving. I am assuming you're heading, because also to reestablish, Trollskull Manor has the top or the bottom story, the main tavern story. It is kind of its own separate thing, and then there are steps leading up to the house portion on top, on the outside. So I'm assuming you're kind of walking around to the steps.
Yes.
Okay. You kind of walk back up into the common area, the pretty newly refurbished common area. You've got a fireplace that I think you have going already. There's a kind of coffee table and some lounge chairs, and sitting on this coffee table, Siler, what has the Thronis left on this coffee table?
I mean, way to kill the surprise, but...
Interesting.
I'm sorry.
Let me specifically tell you who this mystery gift is from.
Sorry, to be honest, I feel again, with how jumpy Celia is...
it would have probably, she would have suspected it.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Also, when I ask you, I don't think it... I think they know,
Siler.
It's likely that Deus probably has not left something on...
He might have. I wouldn't have known.
Maybe, yeah. That fair enough.
He seems nice. He could leave presents.
That's my bad, guys. Gift things. He's in and out a lot. Deus.
Yeah, that's fair. So when did Thronis leave?
I'm sorry. I ruined that.
Okay, there it is. Okay. You guys hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I can hear you.
Awesome. It's a small, a thin, long box. It's really nice, dark, kind of oaky looking wood. And on top of it, carved, well, you thought it was kind of carved in. It looks like it's almost seared in with a kind of brand. Is the symbol of Saloon, the church.
Huh. Okay. I'm gonna
And
open
again,
it.
yeah.
It's a puzzle box, so you're gonna have to roll
Okay,
a
I'm
quick
gonna
little.
examine it for a second, try to find the hidden knob, and then decipher the code, and then open it.
And it's as soon as you pick it up, the bottom falls out, and you can see exactly what's inside it. So this is actually it's a ring in a silver little necklace. It's essentially spiraled bits of silver and a ring that has the symbol of saloon on it.
Huh.
I don't remember. I think I already showed you. He had one of his own with his own symbol of belief. Would have been the symbol of Bahamut.
Yeah.
It's in the same fashion.
Huh.
I will also double check again. Styler, you're saying saloon. Are you? Is it saloon or is it illustrate? They are generally connected, but
I'm trying my best to remember the one that she told me, but I honestly can't remember because that conversation was so long ago. But it was essentially the deity that that Celia told me. Actually, just to verify, is it saloon?
So, I think the confusion is, she talked about Illustrahi and how Illustrahi helped her, but she's not a devout follower of Illustrahi. But that night that we talked about it, we had that situation at the church of saloon.
yeah.
Okay, there it was. Okay, then I would have definitely gotten the one that you talked about,
Okay.
not the one we went to. Okay, just had to double check. So it would have been Illustrati. Yeah, and it would have been their symbol.
Honestly, the symbols are pretty similar anyway, so
it's fine. Okay.
He's gotten a gift.
She will pick up the ring, and there's a small smile that's on her face before she very quietly mumbles under her breath, and then puts the ring with the. I'm assuming it's on you said a necklace?
Yeah.
Yep, she will hang that around her neck.
And Crystal, this is, if you choose to share, do you wish to share what she mumbles?
It is very softly and in Elvish, just a quick, you bastard.
Ooh.
Totally don't see like a quick little flicker of shadow by the mirror, or not the mirror, the window.
Yeah. So I think we're gonna pick up briefly with Cordelia, or pick up again with Cordelia. Shanza's again still kind of patting your back, trying to comfort you, giving a kind of there.
Yeah, Cordelia, she's still just like boo-hooing, and then suddenly she shoots up. I should be doing something about it. I should do something. And she's gonna start scooping out beans and like laying them out on the table and like arranging them. It like in her mind. All right, so this happened here. So if this is this, and she's like just basically making this complicated like crime map, like, but instead of red string and push pins on pictures, it's all beans and her and incoherent rambling.
Do you wish to talk about this, young Cordelia?
No. Shush. If I talk now, then I will lose my train of thought. Now, where was I? Oh, darn it!
Sorry, darling.
No. It's all right, Shanza. Well, I should. What can I do?
Zam, I think kind of
Go
like,
ahead.
I think from across the counter, I think Zam just kind of like places like a hand in yours, trying to again be comforting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you, there, you, you've got, you're gonna be okay.
I
I
know I
know
will. Because I got all my
sometimes,
friends here.
I know sometimes it doesn't feel like it will be, but
Well, I know I'm all right. I'm just worried about those out there. So, in the morning, I will go to the constables, I will find the sheriff, and I will tell them what they should be looking for. Yes. What's going on?
I think you hear Liff kind of pitching at this point. I'm not really entirely certain, but maybe it's just been a while, but can you refresh me of what this fellow did to you to make you hate him so thoroughly?
Well, as if you had to ask. And then that's when you hear the little ding of a guitar, and then in the distance there's a little whistle of a flute, and then there's like a little rattlesnake rattle somewhere. It all
Liff just asked,
happened.
how are you making that happen?
Magic, okay? It's D&D. I know Cordelia hated magic caster or nothing, but we're just going.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But anyways, and she starts. It all started when my daddy found this vein of gold in the ground on our property, and he wanted to go out into the city to go on a business adventure. And so he left Mama, me, and my brother out on the home front, all on our lonesome, with nothing but me and my rifle to protect us. And well, wouldn't you know it, one of the meanest gangsters in all the land, Silas Duncan, came rolling up. See, he had found out about the gold vein and the property, and he found through some legal loophole that if he married me, even though the property wasn't in my name because of the deed, anyways, if he married me, he would get the land, the animals, and the gold. And so, well, holding my mama and my brother at gunpoint, what was a girl to do but put on the finest store-bought dress that didn't fit worth a damn that he bought for me in some town called Tombstone or whatever. Some such nonsense. And then marched me down the aisle. Well, Mama, she was real clever, and she managed to distract Silas, and I took off from that wedding with nothing but my wedding dress and my rifle and a heart burning to get away and warn Daddy of what had happened. And so I came here. Now he's in Waterdeep, I know it. Because he told me at the party. He told me that he was here, and I just feel in my heart that he's got my mama and my brother, and I gotta find him, make sure that they're all right.
How have you been like emoting? Have you been like pacing? Have you been like, how has this all been happening? Like
100% she's been like pantomiming, like nothing but my rifle to protect me. She's like pantomiming with her gun, a gun, and then like she's taking place of characters as she describes them or what they say or what they do. And I mean, it's a one woman show.
Full, like very expressive. And I think like midway through, Zan is like, right, I have heard this. Like, this is, I think, the fourth, fifth. Chanza is like just kind of like sitting again at the bar, like eyes wide. Like, I think she knows the story, but she's like, okay, this is full on production.
Now, if only Grandpa Barman was here, he'd know what to do. He's a real life, honest to goodness adventurer. He's been through things like this before. That's how he met my grandma. And I don't have half the brains or the charm or the wit or the charisma or the Indiana Jones X Factor that he does.
I'm certain, and I don't know if it strikes you right away, but you see Liff kind of emote, just kind of gesture his hand. I'm certain you'll get more used to it as you gain some more experience as an adventurer.
True.
And I think it may take a moment before you realize you as a recap, he's gone from a disembodied force to disembodied voice and force, and now you see a faint sorry, that one is fun. Yeah. You see a kind of faint ethereal figure kind of standing in the place that you've been hearing it from. And that is generally what he looks like. But he's just trying to...
Damn, Lift's hot! What the heck?
Yes, he was.
He did not have to smolder this hard. What the heck? Did somebody turn on the charcoal grill? Like, what the heck? This is not what I pictured.
It's just this picture, though. Just him, that V shape in the head. That's it.
No, he is dressed in... I couldn't find the exact sort of thing that I was looking for. I did like the face on this, though. But yeah, he is kind of dressed in this vest, collared vest. He's got just kind of white collared shirt on underneath. Excuse me. Black slacks. Looks very much like a bartender would, you'd imagine. I mean, you have seen bartenders, you know bartenders. But no, he's just trying to be kind of comforting. He's kind of gesturing with a glass that he's been polishing. Don't put yourself down against your Uncle Theo. He may be some big adventure, but you've got his blood running through your veins, and I'm sure he went through a long period of misjudging himself. You're gonna do great.
See, I would be inclined to agree with you, Liff, except for the fact that he was apparently he was apparently born in the stable and immediately went crawling for a horse. And when my dad, or when his daddy first tried to hold him, he was reaching for his daddy's hat. So he was ready to go even before he could talk or walk. Or at least that's what he told me.
That may be exaggerations. Have you asked your parents about weird stories? I feel like a lot of kids can be a little weird when they're that young.
Well, at least I could believe that Grandpa Theo Barman. I believe that he could certainly have been that way. And he's still that way somewhere out there. I don't know what adventure he's on right now. I wish he was here. Oh.
Sounds like he cares about you a great deal, and you him.
Absolutely.
I guess I envy situations like that a bit. Family caring for each other. It's the ideal, I suppose.
You could be part of my family, Liv.
That's very kind of you. Maybe a bit of a weird family, but then again, we've got a bit of a weird dynamic here anyway already.
Yeah.
Maybe now would be a good I don't know what you think, Shanza, but maybe now might be a good time for you to. Have you gotten your fill of beans? That you've eaten an ungodly amount of beans. Are you good? Are you gonna be good?
Did you say Shanza or Cordelia?
No, he was mentioning Chanza. It's like,
okay.
I think I cut myself off mid thought. He was all like thinking, it's like, hey, you stopped her earlier, Chanza. Do you think now might be a good time for her to go after Cordelia? But he cut himself off with the whole bean thing.
Mm-hmm.
Chanza thinks a moment, and she kind of goes, I think it is up to you now. I think she needs a few moments to cool down. I think she is not always great about sharing her thoughts, but being there when she is going through experiences is what is important for her.
Just hear this loud thump from upstairs, so someone just stomped on the floor real loud.
She's in trouble! Oh no! She's gonna book it up the stairs.
She's just
gun in hand and ready.
She's just listening through the floorboards, and she like smacked the floor. It's like, Chanza, don't tell them to be there for me. I don't want them to be there for me.
Don't worry, Celia. I'm coming to arrest your emotional distress, darling. And she books it up the stairs and like tries to kick in the door, rifle in hand.
Is she able?
Let's see. What do I need to roll?
Because I know I got some locks on the door. I paid extra for those.
Is this coming through to your room? Like she's able to get into the upstairs area, but is this like specifically to try and get into your room?
Specifically get into Celia's room, yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that we went into some locks. I'll leave this partially up to you guys. We can leave the scene here and say that antics ensue.
If she gets a broken foot, it's okay. I mean, I'm just gonna do it. I mean, I'm just saying.
Let me put it this way: do we want to leave it here and just kind of go with antics ensue, or do we want to try and roleplay this?
I kind of want to see if she breaks the door down.
And see how this goes.
Let's roll with it.
All right. If you're just trying to kick down the door, go ahead and roll a strength athletics check. And let's see how hard you kick.
Best roll all night. Okay. That is a dirty 20.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a d6 plus strength.
D6 plus strength. Okay. 7.
7. I don't think, at least with that first kick, you have like entirely like kicked this door down, but like Celia, I don't know what you're doing in your room at the moment, but whatever you're doing is kind of stopped by this loud thud and cracking sound as like this door like partially caves in. What would you like to do?
Yeah, there is a very loud yell from the other side of that door that just goes, "What in the world are you doing?"
I'm here to arrest your emotional distress, Celia.
What And she's just gonna go find, because she's certain that Cordelia's gonna keep trying to break this door down. So she's gonna quickly unlock that door.
Let me in, darling, it's alright.
What?
That door just opens and she just like comes running through the second that it's open and then just runs into the wall.
Points her gun around like, where are they? Where are they?
Where are the demons? Where are your emotional demons? Where are they at?
What are you even talking about right now?
Charles just said to give you a moment, and I didn't want to, but then I waited, and now here I am, and I'm here to help you and tell you it's all gonna be okay, Celia. What's wrong, darling?
I think what's wrong is I had just lit some nice candles, gotten in to relax, and then someone came barging at my door.
Oh, who did it?
Sorry.
Oh, I miss this character so much.
You, Cordelia. It was you. You came barging at my door.
When?
You know what? We're just gonna.
Just think that this is a previous incident.
We're just gonna scrap this and start over. Why? Why?
Oh man.
No, that's not right either. What do I need to do to get you to leave?
Well, I guess let me know that you're all right and tell me to leave. I guess I'll go.
Okay, perfect. I am all right, unharmed, and she will like present herself like with her hand showing that she's not harmed.
No. I ain't talking about your lovely physique. I'm talking about and Cordelia will pull up the nearest step stool or cushion or whatever, stand on it, and then like put her hands on Celia's head and give it a little jiggle. I'm talking about what's in here. Is in here okay?
Nope, don't touch the hair. Immediately taking a step back. It is the same as it's always been.
Celia, she's got you cornered in a bit in this room. There is a door on the other side, but she's, I think, got you probably in a bit of a corner.
Alright, how am I wiggling my way out of here?
I mean, let's be fair. She's like the quickest and the spryest, but you are nimble.
I am Misty stepping out of there. I'm not taking any chances with her.
Nice.
Thought about it. Nope. Poofing out.
Do you fake out a hug, or like you try and look like you're about to hug her, then just poof out?
No, it's just instant poof.
God, Cordelia's gonna think she disintegrated or something.
And so she just poofs like that?
Yep.
Have you seen her do this before, I wonder?
I've never used this spell before, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So
she
Cordelia's just
got-
gonna. Cordelia will gasp. She's been spirited away. Emotional demons, you give me back my best friend.
What do I need to do to hide?
Stealth, right?
Yeah, I'd say we can in a moment we can get into like where you go. I think this. I don't know how much progress Cordelia's gonna make. We can keep going with this, or
we can let this roll its course.
Yeah, this probably lasts into the night a decent bit until either Celia kind of gives up for the moment, or Cordelia gets tired and tuckers out. Mm-hmm. Actually, roll a contested d20.
Okay. Any modifiers? Just flat. Okay.
Yeah.
4.
6.
So we're both exhausted by the end of this chase.
Yeah, you guys.
So how long does the soundtrack into Yakety Sax go?
Goes for probably about like 40 minutes before I think like just somebody kind of gives up or gets tired or bored. I don't know. I think Celia, there are a number of close calls where Cordelia like almost catches up, but you're able to kind of avoid. I just want to imagine like this is creating like probably like a decent amount of like noise as you guys are like running around. I don't know. Actually, this is a valid question. Are either of you considering this fun? Like chasing each other around the house like this?
No, this is full seriousness.
Yeah, no, this is
100%. I'm gonna slay her demons.
I just wanted to relax. And now this is going on.
You know, you said that she asked what you needed to get her to leave you alone, and you literally could have said alone time, and she may have accepted that.
Yeah, but she was asking about what was in your head, and you're just like, same as it's always been. That's not an answer.
It's fine.
The same as it's always been. That's not.
Been.
Same as it's always been. That's terrible.
Listen, did you want her to lie and say it was good?
No, she wanted you to share, be vulnerable, like a real best friend.
So you guys end up running around for a while, and like I just want to paint the image of Chanza, Zam, and a now visible Lif, all just kind of like taking a deep breath, sighing, knowing probably about what's going on.
Fair.
It's a little weird. Zam even seems like a bit like, are they still doing this? It's been like a half hour. Lif just kind of goes, they could probably go all night at this rate. We're gonna kind of cut the scene for this here for the moment.
That's cool.
Yeah. I think that there's notably one other scene that I think I wanted to touch on, though if you guys notably like Siler and or Crystal, if you have any scenes that you want to touch on, please think on that and let me know, and we can get into that in a bit. But Cordelia,
there's one more box that should be found somewhere around the bottom where. Well, actually, no, it'd be in their room, I guess.
Actually, yeah, that is a good point. We should resolve this now. I believe that is for Cordelia.
Yeah, but we'll wait for them to find them eventually. Here's hoping they find it and it's not buried under something.
Well, we're gonna jump ahead like a week or two.
You want me to find a box in my room?
At some point, I'm assuming you'll go in there and you'll find there is a nice little box, small, roughly the size of, say, a normal person's fist. Inside, you'll find a very nice hairpin, and it's been specifically decorated and engraved to look like your rifle.
My what?
There's essentially a hairpin that's been designed to look like your rifle.
Aww.
That's sweet.
That is so dang cute.
Got some gifts. Opening grand opening gifts.
That is lovely.
I don't know if anyone else noticed, but assume someone did it at some point, but Zam is wearing a brand new bow tie. Like pocket.
Zam does not bring it up himself, but if anybody brings it up to him, he seems pretty proud and content with it.
Oh, Zam, who'd you steal that off of?
It's mine. I got it.
I know. Cool I'm asking who you stole it off of.
It's mine.
Yeah, I get that it's yours now, but who did you steal it off of?
No, Celia, it's mine.
I get that. But before it was yours.
And that's day 2.
Yeah, that goes on for a while. He just keeps on insisting it is his.
Yeah, she's still trying to figure out who he stole it off of.
Who's that?
It's weird because he's still wearing Lathronis' old hat. He's technically still with him.
Yeah, he wore it basically the entire day, grand opening, and he's gotten very comfortable with it. It's still, I think, a little oversized, but he's. I think also like in this like time in between arcs, his hair kind of grows out a bit, and kind of fills up the hat a bit more. Like he's letting it kind of grow in less long, more thick. But Cordelia, couple weeks after we wrapped up, after you have fully around the time that you are fully recovering from that injury, you're kind of you have recovered now. Fala, there was a date that was offered, I believe, second or third full date. I think I forget whether it was hers to plan or yours, but I'll leave that.
Yeah.
Do you take the lead on that, or does she?
Let's see. I was thinking that in these next weeks, I think Cordelia would actually have become absorbed with trying to talk to the authorities, trying to follow any clues that she could about about her injury, getting shot, about the whereabouts of her mother and brother, all of that stuff. And then maybe even asking around if anybody has seen her legendary grandpa. Actually, he would have gotten absorbed in these things.
Go ahead and roll a cursory investigation check.
Okay.
Into some of these things.
Am I rolling so bad? Oh, I didn't use my dice tower, that's why. Duh. Sitting right here in front of me. Why am I doing just these vanilla rolls on the table?
Our dice.
All right.
Plebeian boring vanilla rolls.
What was that investigation?
Yes.
Oh, it's a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're not rolling hot. I will say that you kind of ask around. Are you like going to various taverns? Are you just kind of asking random people on the street?
Going to taverns, maybe if her grandpa ever mentioned places in his wild stories and travels, then she might look for those specific places and ask people there, especially the barkeep, since they would see any interesting and adventurous people coming and going.
Yeah. I think one tavern, one person that you very much remember him maybe briefly bringing up was Durnan and the Yawning Portal. I think you probably check in with him probably somewhat regularly. And he doesn't have much information on your family or Silas, but I think you do hear that I think it was what he says is I think it was 3.5 months back. I remember Theo. Good guy.
Really?
Yeah. I may not remember everybody that comes through here, but Theo, he's a good feller.
That he is, sir.
He's helped out the city quite a handful of times as well.
What kind of things has he helped out with?
I will notably bring up again one of the things that wasn't recapped earlier, but you guys did go to the opera to meet up with Mert, but you also did stay for the opera as well. And that recapped one of the stories that Theo had shared with you of in his kind of in his prime. He actually helped to stop the Cult of the Dragon from attacking Waterdeep and much of the rest of the Sword Coast. Big adventure, and he one of the main cities that he helped out was in fact Waterdeep. Granted, he also made clear that the opera and all the stories that they share aren't necessarily all that true. So it can be, overly dramatize all that happened during the actual adventure. But that is something that you remember him sharing.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot that the opera. How could I forget about that?
Yeah.
Dang.
No, you're good. I think Dernan will also share a couple of stories you haven't heard of, like just kind of the odd things that he helped out with last time. Seems like Theo, he's not like a big name, but there are a decent amount of people in the city that do know him, Dernan included.
Yeah.
I think what like one of the things that Dernan highlights is last time he was here, Theo like helped to take down a kind of a group of cultists that had spread up in the city. He wasn't able to get much info about like what they were, but kind of interrupted a bit of a ritual that was going on.
Oh, what kind of ritual?
All that Dernan knows is that it was vaguely demonic in nature, but there were not a ton of evidence. I think that was around the time that Theo left the city to continue searching into that, and he has not heard from him since. Granted, he probably just has not checked back into the city yet. He assures you that he can take care of himself and that he's probably just fine. But
right.
Yeah, that was the last thing he heard of Theo. Silas, you don't hear, unfortunately, like if from anybody, if like he's taken like the rest of your family members into custody. At least not in this time between arcs. I think, excuse me. I think you make a handful of connections in this time between arcs that may pay off. And we can go into depth into like some of those, like if they come up. Dernan, kind of talking with him a bit more, is one of them. I think you meet probably with a handful of magistrates. I think they do kind of assure you that, well, there is they kind of believe you that there is a high chance that he's bad news from what they've heard. Due to the laws of the city, they can't just persecute him without having, probable cause or, crimes that they can kind of pin him to.
But she's got her testimony of the wedding and the contract that he tried to make her sign and all that stuff.
That might be a little out of their jurisdiction.
That is unfortunately out of their jurisdiction, as Phandalin is on the far edge of kind of Waterdeepian territory, but it is kind of a disputed territory. And that, I mean, testimony is good, but at the moment it is kind of, to a certain degree, your word against theirs. Again, a lot of the people that speak with you are kind of empathizing with you, and they assure you that they're going to kind of try and keep an eye on any like activities that they can spot. It's kind of like, how like Al Capone was like a big deal, like a gangster, like almost everybody knew he was a criminal, but nobody could like actually pin charges to him.
Right, and they eventually got him for tax fraud.
Yeah.
We'll
So
get
all you
Silas
gotta
for
do
littering.
is- yeah, I was like, all you gotta do is report him to the fantasy IRS.
Yeah, no, just all you gotta do is wait for him to get one big haul, and just as soon as he doesn't pay those taxes.
Joke's on you, he launders his money like a clean criminal.
Yeah, but he didn't pay the taxes on them. They tax everything nowadays.
So I think actually one of the things that you do pick up on vaguely is that he does have some kind of business dealings that he's in the city for. This is not just like he's not chasing after you, at least exclusively. There's some other reason why he's here.
Oh.
I don't think you are able to fully pick up on what that is.
Oh, come on. Well, can I ask the
I
person
gotta say,
to elaborate?
This is the between section. I feel like I am giving you a
okay.
lot for a 7 in the between section.
Okay, fine. Then I'll pursue the crap out of that once the building
You
explodes.
have to work.
Because obviously it was Silas and his dynamite specialist.
Listen, I also don't want to like give away like some of the plot
I
line that I
understand.
have for later on.
Uh-huh.
Like, right off the bat.
Yes, I understand.
I mean, trust me, I want to talk about this stuff. It's just trying to, balance that with like some pursuing the interesting narrative over a span of time and not just like saying
I got it.
and
I'm just
I
being petty.
Here is all the cool things. Let me just explain everything that is happening. No. So do you kind of follow? I think is so, like, at least for a bit, kind of like comes to you fairly regularly, and it's like, so when would we go on that date?
Let me roll. Oof.
Natural 1. Never. I hate you.
No, it's a 3. So,
Ooh.
Cordelia would be like, but that's not what the most important thing right now. I gotta focus on this. And then there's the tavern and taking care of my friends and everything else.
Roll.
I think.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead. Perception.
Roll a persuasion check.
Persuasion. 14 plus 0. 14.
All right. And let me roll something. Ooh, okay. Fala, I think Fala's pretty understanding, but after kind of a while of this kind of going on, she kind of asks a bit less and less.
Ooh. Yeah.
This kind of like one of the arguments that she'll bring up decently early on is like, well, I mean, I fully understand your anxiety in this situation. You have a lot going on right now, and there's a lot of what ifs. You found your father, and there is a possibility that he could have done something horrible, but there is also the possibility that it is not the case, and even if it is, I'm sorry, Cordelia, but until you get a lead, I don't know how much you can do. I just don't want to lose what we have. I understand, though, if you need your time.
Thanks, Fala, darling.
And she kind of gives... Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I'll try to
devote some time to thinking about it, but I'll try to divvy up my time as best as I can.
All right. Good night, Cordelia.
Good night.
I think she, at this point, makes her way out of the tavern, which you two had been talking at, and back across the street to her home.
All right.
I think what you don't see is that she is, well, she's trying to be supportive. She is a bit hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's so hard.
Balance and act. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a rough dynamic.
Yeah.
Gotta tread the line.
Mm-hmm.
Toe the line.
Yep.
Actually, let me double check what that message was, because where can I disclose? I think frozen. Okay. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. All right. Siler, I want to ask just in general between everybody, like what we want, if there's anything in particular that we want to cover before we kind of jump back into the main story. Notably, one of them is what has been going up with Deus. Or if you'd like to share kind of what that may be.
Sorry, you cut out there for a second.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to kind of check between these arcs what has been going up with Deus and sharing that with... And I know we spoke about that a bit briefly.
Hello?
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 Can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Only just that last part. Sorry, my internet is not doing great right now.
Yeah, I think it may be good to wrap up soon, and then we kind of pick up with the big boom next time. But we can still go a bit longer.
If you want to do it, I'm good with if you want to leave it at that cliffhanger. Just as soon as the stuff starts, that's.
Oh yeah. Well, there's also some stuff before we get to that, kind of re-examining what was happening just before.
I'm ready to. I really want to do that.
Yeah, but what I was asking for is if you can share what's been going on with Deus. I know we had talked about that a bit briefly before, but if we can.
Oh yeah.
If you want to share more.
He started helping out there when the stuff was getting done, but you saw him gradually. And he told you guys he was volunteering more and more around the city with all the current fighting and the gang wars. Anywhere there was a lot of people hurt, be it civilians or those from the gangs, he'd essentially be there helping out as best he could. Not always to the best of success or necessarily welcome, but that's usually what he's doing. And for the time being, he's taken up residence near one of the local clinics.
Yeah. Yeah, helping out around the city.
But he's rarely in one place. He usually just keeps running around seeing who needs help.
Yeah. Crystal, I'm not certain if you're back yet. I want to check in with her before we kind of get into stuff. You are back? Oh, not yet. All right. Cordelia, I guess I'll kind of bounce back to the two of you. Is there anything you guys want to check in on or establish or do?
I don't think so.
There's one thing I need to go do. Where did I get those lavender cigarettes? Commission. I gotta get more of those.
Right. There was the shop kind of down, I think, in the dock ward, the kind of odds and ends. The shop where everything was purple.
Oh.
Yeah. If I can't find anything else there, I will definitely try and find someone who works in like the basic enchantments of stuff like this and see if someone can do something with some stogies I'd buy.
Yeah. I think, you're able to find some more of them. I think he actually offers, if he is interested, he offers to kind of sell the kind of like recipe of like how he mixes lavender into the cigarettes. After I think enough, like a handful of visits, he would offer that at a bit of a steeper price.
He'd definitely see what the price was, but he'd definitely try and haggle him for it.
Roll persuasion.
I'll go with whatever's cheaper, if that means just coming back and buying them.
It's fair. Go ahead and roll persuasion. And again, this is one of those things that I think I'm going to hand wave and like say, this is more like, were you able to kind of get the recipe, or are you kind of still going buying in packs? Tyler?
Yeah, so it took a little bit to load. That's would have been a 15 total.
With the 15, you are able to kind of haggle it down, and I think you get to the point where it is a bit more efficient to have the recipe on hand.
Alrighty.
Roll your own lavender smokes.
All right. How much did this cost me?
How much gold? I will say.
I have a decent amount, so.
He's able to do. I think you're able to get to like 15 gold.
All right then. And I pay the man, and I do let him know what became of the other thing I bought, and open up the old trench coat and show him.
He is very curious. He offers to buy it from you, but I assume you decline that.
Yeah, no. Sorry, but I'll keep you in touch if he does anything cool.
I'd love to learn what cool things he's doing.
Yeah, no. It's weird that Ward hasn't done anything, but maybe it's just he's not big enough.
Maybe. I mean, you hatched him in here, right? Maybe.
Yeah, no, all done in the city. So maybe he won't do anything until it gets big.
He's got some special going on with him. I don't know.
All right, I'll keep you posted. Thanks for the recipe.
Yeah. Again, I mean, if you are interested in selling that little guy, hit me up.
Not likely, but thank you all the same.
All right.
Actually, I've double checked. Does he have a purple fedora?
Fedora?
Yeah.
Yes, you are able to find like a two-tone like purple striped fedora, like one brighter purple, one like I got like the hues I'm matching. One like violet, one that's like slightly darker, a slightly darker shade.
I'll probably grab the slightly darker shade.
Well, no, like it's striped. Like a pinstripe fedora.
I'll try that one.
I'll just say if you want the dark violet fedora, that works too. It's got a hat rack. All right. So, before I think we get too much farther in, because it sounds like we've kind of recovered and recapped to, I think, a degree that we are all satisfied with. How is everybody doing time-wise tonight? Because I know it's not super late, but we also started a bit earlier as well. How's everybody doing theme-wise?
I'm good.
Crystal? Or are you back yet?
I don't think she's back yet, but I think they're still listening.
Yeah, I think she's still.
Yeah, she's good. She's good.
All right. So let's. I think when we are picking up, this is pretty early morning, and again, I think we kind of went over some of this last time. I don't think. I think some things have definitely changed. Between the description I gave last time and what is happening this time. Notably, also, I guess this might be something to go into a bit more. Nyla, again, she's also been kind of out every once in a while for like the earlier parts. She'd drop in for a bit, maybe for a drink. She was definitely there for a period of time opening day. Probably didn't drink anything but ate the food. Probably had a weird face at Sam's cooking, but then also pleasantly surprised. I think you have heard that she is holed up with the Order of the Gauntlet up on the west end of town. She's trying to do good with them and helping people's day-to-day lives. But when we are picking up, it is early morning on a weekday. Kind of getting the shop ready. It's still. This is a tavern, so you do have people that come in earlier in the day, but it is typically slower the earlier in the day you get. So you've got like probably only like one or two customers right now. Bit of a slow day as well. Everybody's in kind of just in kind of the tap room at the moment. Everybody being Zan, Chanza, Lif, who's become, I think, a bit more visible as time has gone on. Celia and Cordelia. Dace, I think, is out at the moment. And actually, can I see Siler for a moment in the Secrets channel?
Ooh. Secrets. I'm gonna grab my Cheez-Its.
I am back, by the way, as well. You guys go have fun.
Hello, welcome back. So just to double check, we're gonna jump into Secrets just for a moment.
Okay, understood.
They're in there a while.
Yeah, secrets are happening.
Right.
Hmm?
I was like, do you think if I pop in there, they'll notice me? Probably.
Probably. Because there'll be that little boop sound.
Yeah.
So how are you doing, Miss Crystal?
Good so far. Same old,
Good.
same old. My dog has to have surgery on Thursday.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah, he tore his ACL, so
Aw.
that's fun.
He was flexing too much at all the ladies.
He sure was.
Hello again.
Hello.
Miss us?
Yes.
Mhm.
Uh,
Well, I hope you guys have planned your assassinations. We have ours.
what, you're saying you weren't planning on how to overthrow us?
Nope.
Joke's on you, that's already been planned from the start.
Yeah, obviously. This is PvP. Don't you guys? There always has to be PvP.
You guys are saying that you haven't picked up on the 40 clues that I've left you? I'm kidding. No. There are kind of clues. That's a whole nother discussion.
Only the 39 clues.
Probably more like 37.
That was that day you had to leave early.
So, checking in with Cordelia and Celia, if you want to kind of describe what you are kind of doing in this moment. Kind of a handful of customers. What are you kind of doing as you're are you eating breakfast early in the morning? Are you chatting with Sam?
Just zooming back and forth, taking care of whoever needs to be served.
All right.
Keeping them happy, chit-chatting.
You're definitely kind of acting on the clock, but you're not kept super busy with this.
Maybe Cordelia finally sent a morning note out saying that maybe that they could go out for that date.
Oh, in the morning? This morning?
Yeah. Well, no, like later on that day.
Oh, later on this day.
Yeah, like she sent the note out in the morning, but later out that day.
Okay.
The planned time.
Oh, planning the date later this day.
Mm-hmm.
And then Celia, are you just kind of hanging out down in the tap room?
Yep.
Nice. Siler, if you'd like to kind of describe your character as they enter into the tavern.
Yeah, sure. There's just a large humanoid figure, roughly about maybe 6, I don't want to say 4, maybe 5, wearing an oddly colored hat, wrapped up in a scarf, overcoat, very thick gloves, very clean but very well used. As they do come in, oddly quiet for someone this big, as they seem to quickly scan the surroundings before they find themselves a nice quiet corner to just take a small rest off their feet before they do go and make an order for it.
I think Zan will kind of come and help you kind of take your order, and he's going to kind of... Is this food? Or are you ordering a drink, actually?
Let's go. How early is it in the morning?
I'm going to say probably around I think I was saying early morning before. It's probably more like late morning. Let's say like 10.
It's close enough. Let's go brunch. A beer and then whatever you guys got for breakfast.
I better get the alcohol, Zam. You're too young to serve it.
Zam kind of like waves it down. It's like, I got it. Just got one. Got a tub over here. Tub of ale. Keg.
I remember we had drinking, like serving drinks the whole time.
Oh god.
I have been serving. I've lived in a tavern for over 200 years. I should know what it's called.
I want to ask if that name sounds or if that voice sounds familiar, but I don't think Celia's paying attention.
That's fair. Yeah.
Just 3 question marks over my head.
Who is this person?
So what brings you to your neck of the wood? Oh, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Nah, just Celia's just there, eating with one hand and playing with the ring on her neck with the other.
Oh.
Not paying any attention.
Cordelia, I think you were gonna ask this
Yeah.
feller.
Yep, I was gonna ask him what brought him to this neck of the woods.
Just passing through normal rounds. Early morning start and all that.
Normal rounds? Well, then why we seen you around here before? What you doing?
I'm imagining she like pulls up a seat next to this guy.
I mean, if she did, then she'd probably be sitting at knee level, so she's probably remaining standing. And
she'd be shorter sitting down.
Just
actually, wait, would she be taller? Would she be taller on a seat than standing up?
I guess that depends. Are you is this a bar stool or is this like at a table?
Which one did you pick, Siler?
I mean, I'd assume I'd grab one of the normal tables if it's just near one of the edges. Just a clear line of sight between for like every door, exit, entrance, and the people working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Cordelia might like maybe climb up on one of the chairs so that she can like reach the table more comfortably and talk more eye level.
Is she standing on a chair?
Yes, she's standing on a chair.
Oh. So she's probably like more like, I mean, she'd probably be like, maybe like if she's standing on a chair, she might be like a bit above somebody that would be sitting, but like with this guy's pretty big stature, yeah, you're probably around eye level.
Yeah, hard to tell with like how bundled up he is and all whatnot, but he's still waiting. Has the drink arrived yet, or the food?
Oh yeah, Liv kind of carries a this kind of you know what's weird? He like walks. He gets the cup of ale and like he just kind of like walks through the counter and just kind of like places it on your table.
I give a nod and thanks.
Yeah. He gives a nod, kind of back towards you. Then he mentions Sam will be finished with that food shortly.
I'm
if
in
there's
no
anything
rush.
you need, let us know.
Thank you.
And Cordelia is still just hovering over his shoulder. So what you do?
Okay, that I didn't see coming. Just the aggressive Charlie from Has-Been Hotel energy.
Like leaning on his shoulder.
Aggressive positivity.
Full on invading his personal space.
Absolutely.
Which is he's oddly not flinching back from it or anything. He's just taking a very slow and very. It's an odd savoring kind of like it's not so much trying to quench a thirst. Just it looks like he's just wasting time.
The longest sip he can take at the moment.
Yeah, just slow sip from I told you so glass.
Celia's like still looking at her food, but like eyeing this poor stranger. It's like, thank you. You're distracting her. She's not bothering me.
Oh no.
Like, oh, that's what she's annoying.
Target.
Time to sneak away.
Let me
I
finish
could
off the rest of
finally
my
be
breakfast
free.
in peace.
Without her trying to add more beans.
I'm sorry. What was the question? Sorry.
So what do you do? That's what she asked.
Problem solver for certain people.
Oh, what kind of people?
Specific people.
Oh, what kind of specific people? Secret people? I can keep secrets.
Not a secret. It's just people who have problems. Because if they don't have problems, they usually don't need my help.
Cordelia's just like drawing air connections with her finger.
Sir, there's a word I learned in the 5th grade for spelling test. What was it? Started with a C. Cryptic. That sounds very cryptic. Or was it cryptic? I can't remember.
Definitely crap.
Cryptic.
Both work, but one is used in the more elegant and old tongue cryptic when describing very specific group of very well dressed but ill meaning people. You can find a few of those in certain parts.
Oh.
So whenever you see a bunch of snobs well dressed talking shit, oh god, they're all so cryptic.
Well, you learn something new every day. Huh.
Make sure when you're pronouncing it to separate the crap and the dick. I'm sorry.
And you've unlocked the words of power.
So, is this your first time visiting us?
It's not.
Oh. Then what brought you back? I haven't noticed you here before.
I don't often come, like I said, on my route when I have time and when the chance and need align.
Well, enjoy. I'll leave you to your cryptic thoughts and enjoy.
And she'll just hop down and scuttle away, little boots clicking.
Oh, new record.
Brief nod. Is my food here yet?
Zan actually is now bringing out your food. I don't. We have not established what you ordered, but he just kind of like slides the plate onto your
special, whatever it is.
Oh yeah. No. Grits, hash browns, beans. No, I'm kidding.
Full on English breakfast. Good luck.
Ooh, English breakfast.
Are English breakfasts supposed to be this bad? Well, if corrected properly, yes. If made properly, then yes. No, yeah. He brings you out. I think probably actually something like country style, because I think Cordelia was in charge of the menu here.
Mm-hmm.
Some critics, I will say, have come in and noted the lack of cohesion, because like you got Victorian like styling, you got like hearty country food, you've got three strings playing medieval music like every Friday.
Listen, it's called eclectic. Look it up, sweetie.
You've got a ghost and a goblin that are I mean, they probably have a good reputation with regulars, but they can be off-putting to newcomers.
Yeah, so any touristy that aren't like excited to try something, or people from other lost to the town?
Yeah. Oh god, now I want to write some interaction between like Zam and some Karen that came in.
Oh my gosh, that'd be funny.
Oh god, we'd have to script that. We'd have to take a bit. We could script.
Mm-hmm. Make a little animatic of it.
Later, not now.
Yeah.
But that would be
Not now.
man.
Not now. We can definitely do this.
That sort of stuff has happened, and Zam almost went. Oh, I mean, Zam went goblin mode. Sorry.
It's a weird thing. It's like a natural instinct to an enemy.
He's fight or flight response activated, and he did not fly.
You've somehow triggered a fight or flight response, and goblins don't fly.
Zam will.
I'd invite Zam if there's no one else or no one else to serve. I'd invite him to sit with me.
Sure. Yeah. We got some time here. I think you're kind of sitting kind of near one of the windows. It's, I think, like an overcast sort of day. So
yeah. And this is not more often than not when I do come in here. I'm usually served by Zam or they usually take care of it. So building up a bit of a rapport. Yeah, a bit of food to the side and just in the coat pocket. I've introduced them to, I think, like maybe a day or so after it hatched, I've introduced them to Zam.
Yeah, Zam, I assume this is something that you're, like, saying, it's like, shh, down low, sort of thing?
Yeah. Down low.
Yeah. I think he like brings over alongside this plate of food. He brings over just a hard-boiled egg that he slips into your pocket. Yeah. Just putting hard-boiled eggs in people's pockets. It's not the first time. It won't be the last.
Everything in its time and purpose. But after that, I'll enjoy a little conversation, catch up, ask how things are going here, see what the place has been up to before I give him a good old tip and a thank you for the meal. Like,
that's kind of the normal.
That was normal thing. Probably this thing lasted a total of like maybe 30 minutes. So whatever happens, because I'm waiting to like let the food settle and everything go down before.
Okay, before you down it.
So I'll be chilling here for a little bit if something else happens.
Yeah, I think Zam asks you this time, kind of a bit abruptly, like as you kind of reach a pause in like another topic. Are you gonna come back, or is this just how things are now?
We'll see how it goes. The decision is not mine alone.
No, I suppose so. Well, I think I could best get back to it. And he kind of hops up from the table, kind of turns away, kind of waves to you. You say anything, or just kind of
wave back?
Yeah. I think you're waving back, and he kind of turns to walk back behind the counter. And I think that's when the front of the tavern explodes.
Woo! Woo!
How close to that was I? So I said corner and like to
question.
the side. I don't know how close that was.
You know what? Same question.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, everybody's wants to know. Cordelia, I think you're probably like towards the middle of the room since you're working in the moment. I think you're kind of like going between things as this happens. Celia, are you at the counter?
Yeah, that's where
At
I'd
the
be
moment?
eating.
Okay, so you're also a distance away from the front of the store. You're a distance away from any windows. Othranus, I think you are probably sitting at the table that's shown here, unless you're thinking otherwise. But I think that's kind of one of the more like smaller
Yeah, I
tables
think
that
that
are off
fits.
to the
Smaller table gives me like a line of sight on most people.
Yeah, but also kind of out of the way a bit. Zam was, I think, right here. He was near a window.
He's dead.
Yeah, this might be a revenge thing now.
Listen, goblins don't have a lot of hit points. He's gone.
Not Sam.
They do not.
We
They
riot.
do not. I can verify this.
So I think that this might be a good time to stop. What do you guys?
Fine, if you're gonna play us like that.
I mean, honestly, though, I think that it might be a good time to kind of like wrap up, and then we can kind of, because I feel like once we get farther into this, we're not going to want to stop, at least for a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd assume we all get like the post, like, give us the explosion and just what do we see directly after before we cut to be continued.
And this is also, I will add in, this is like what you guys kind of see, like immediately. I'm going to read the block text as well. The windows in this, actually, no, this is kind of described from the outside of the alley. Just kind of suddenly kind of cutting to the outside of the alley. It's windows all around the alley are rattling, and there's this just roar of an explosion that fills the streets. There are charred bodies and anguished screams kind of flying through the air. Thick cloud of smoke hangs over the spot in the alley, and it seems like this blast happened right in front of your door. In the manor, there are kind of these windows that are kind of blasted out inward. There weren't a ton of people. I will say that as we're leaving off, Zam has been blasted back and is kind of currently lying on the ground. You're not really certain what is up. You see kind of some of the smoke and kind of the soot is kind of on him. It doesn't look like he got the brunt of the blast, but you do see several cuts of broken glass kind of have cut across him, and like I think you see a particularly nasty shard in his side. I think you'll get kind of the rest of this description as you kind of when you all exit, because you are still the tavern. I will say again.
I'm immediately for Zam first, so I don't.
Oh well, yeah. I don't blame you for wanting to take care of him. I will say that you were able to see kind of out of these windows. Again, there's this smoke kind of blocking a decent amount of your vision, at least in the first few seconds after this blast.
Just for my own thing, do I get to Zam, or is that like where it cuts?
Yeah, we're gonna cut off right before you get to Zam.
Yeah,
But
Zam's dead.
Okay, so you see the stranger that just came in, hand reaching out to Zam, and it's starting to glow, like something's about to happen.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think you look outside and there's a bit of commotion. You see some those charred bodies just kind of laying on the ground, scattered around outside. You do see several people kind of running about, like frantically, like uncertain what to do. You see a couple that are just kind of standing there, shocked.
Man, where is Deus when you need him?
Probably on his way.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Along with many other people, I'm sure. Notably guards.
Wait,
But
what?
we'll get to that.
Is our troll skull sign okay?
That remains to be seen.
Oh, bastards went for our side.
Actually, that is something worth recapping. I know that we had kind of discussed a number of things. Did the like taxidermy head get put on the sign outside? Do you have it hanging
Yes,
inside?
that was part of the sign out front, like kind of gate kind of sign. Like the skull would have been
Right.
like the left corner kind of adornment.
Okay. It's an adornment kind of acting as like the crest, the logo, essentially.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that remains to be seen how that is holding up.
Yay.
Woohoo! Fireball!
Woo, fireball.
Totally not the way we thought this was going.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of the way I thought it was gonna go. I did set another tavern on fire. I'm not terribly surprised.
Well,
I'm just gonna wonder, like, for a split second, are you just gonna look at your hands just to double check they're not like smoldering?
100%. Shit, was that me this time? No, not me. Okay.
Not yet.
Question:
Not
could you like
this
roll
time.
a d20, and like on that one, literally before the explosion, you sneezed, so you don't know?
I mean, I did have like that last
No,
bite
that's a
of
20. I know it wasn't me.
She was halfway between a bite or a sip of beer or something.
Yeah, I actually had like a chunk of ice in my glass of water, like smacking my teeth right as it happened, so it couldn't have been me.
I was about to order another drink. It couldn't have been me, officer.
Yeah. Like, I'm gonna get in the way of my own drinks, please.
Yeah. Personally, I can't wait to I gotta imagine it's so uncomfortable. Just because, what time of year is it? Because if I remember right, it's during like we're getting into like the summer times, right? We're like
No, we're actually getting into the winter. It was the party that you were acting as guards for. That was a high harvest tide party, which is basically the equivalent of like Thanksgiving.
Okay, I was afraid that was like a summer thing. So, like as soon as we described how bundled up we got, I was like, oh, he's got to be suffering in the middle of that.
I will share that technically like each villain is supposed to be like correlating to a different season, and technically like I'm doing the wrong villain for the wrong season, but I also still I feel like
villains can swap seasons.
Yeah, it's not like there's anything that really like pigeonholes you into like one season or another for any villain. Just kind of some of the events surrounding, but yeah, I may explain more later down the line, be a little less cryptic then, but this is fun. This has been fun.
This has been fun to jump back into these characters.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't certain how far we'd get, but it worked out that it worked out. It worked out that we can end with the explosion again.
Mm-hmm.
Second time in a row.
I've given you nothing new, but let you detail out the last few days.
Yeah. But also, there's a lot of much different context than I think what we had described last time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're definitely ready to start.
Yeah. Yeah.
Last time was like the ending. This is the beginning.
Yeah.
Oh wait, did we look up the episode? Did we like theorize that Zam was going to get caught in the blast? Because I think we did.
I think that might have gotten brought up as like a possibility.
I don't recall.
Okay, I don't remember because as soon as you ended it off on a cliffhanger, we went on nuts with the theories.
I will also add, Zam is no mere goblin.
Is it because he's now a dead goblin?
Perhaps. Perhaps
Sorry,
not.
Like,
I'd say too soon, but it's actually the perfect time.
That's so much worse.
Oh
God,
so?
The reason Zam was literally there was because he was talking to him. So if this happens, there's a lot of like survivor's guilt that happen.
It's gonna be a whole lot of guilt.
You know what partially it was is like I saw an opportunity similar to like it's again the poetic justice of like how Sid counterspelled and ended up maybe getting his sister in his creation and again possible potential friend killed.
Acquaintance at best at this point.
I was like, that's a really big stretch for Marlon.
He was at one point a potential friend.
We were like super close to snapping that friend thing, and then it just
all went downhill so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we were so close.
Good news, you don't have to worry about us trying to keep you locked up because of the whole sloth thing.
Yeah,
I'm worried that like the character will no longer come back with like this side of the table controlling it. Like, there's a chance those three characters will come back and we interact with them, but no one on our side's like actually malleable.
Yeah.
We shall see when we jump back into it.
Mm-hmm.
I got
next
plenty.
time on Waterdeep.
Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Waterdeep Dragon Heist.
Yeah, whatever happened to that big dragon?
Bye.